Welcome back, beautiful soul, to another episode of the Limitless Podcast, where we explore the inner realms of mindset, soul, and self leadership. Today's episode is actually an invitation into one of the most confronting and potentially transformative questions we can ask ourselves. And this question was posed to me: should I stay in this relationship? Now, before I go on, I want to actually explain to you what I mean by relationship. So in this particular question, this context, the client was asking me, should they stay in a relationship with their spouse? But a relationship doesn't necessarily have to mean romance. You may be experiencing a difficult relationship in a friendship. It could be a family relationship or dynamic, or perhaps a business partnership. But every relationship in your life is here to serve your highest evolution. So I want you to really understand that particular content and in every relationship in your life. So if you know that every relationship that comes into your life, every relationship that you're experiencing right here, right now, today, is here, divinely placed, divinely here for your highest evolution. And yes, even the messy ones, especially the messy ones, the messiest ones have taught me the most about myself. And it wasn't really until I realized every relationship is here to serve my highest evolution did I really understand, wow, okay, I can choose how I am in this relationship. What happens when you're constantly being triggered in that relationship? So that's how the question was placed in my hands from a client. What if I'm constantly being triggered? What if I'm constantly being triggered? How do I know when it's time to leave a relationship? Should I stay or should I go? So let's explore this question. So put it in the context of a relationship that you are having currently. When you're triggered again and again in a relationship, it's really easy to blame the other person. Guilty. How many of us are guilty of that? Whenever we're triggered, they're like, why does he keep doing that again? Or why does she continue to do those things? Why? If they would just stop doing that, then I wouldn't be so reactive in the way that I respond when this conversation comes up. And I want you to know that, yes, sometimes what's happening is not okay. And I want you to know that it's not okay what's happening. Sometimes it's really not good at all. It's not okay. Sometimes it's extremely toxic, it's draining, and it's absolutely costing your peace. Is that you? Is that you right now? But let's zoom out for just a minute. I want to zoom out of you being in the middle of the trigger, zoom out from you being reactive in the relationship, feeling drained. Every trigger is here to teach us. Every trigger is actually a mirror. When you are triggered, the real question is not why are they doing this? Why can't they stop doing this? I've been dealing with this for years and years. That's not the real question. The real question is, how is this relationship asking me to grow? For one, it could be this relationship is teaching you how not to be reactive, not to be triggered, right? But it also could be a trigger that's asking you to take a look at what the wound is inside that's asking to be healed. That's a very common reason why we get triggered. There's a trigger that actually opens you. It reveals that wound. But in that knowing, in that revelation of knowing what the wound is, we make room for the healing of it. And we allow light and healing to come into that. And that's where you get major insight. That's where you are able to rise. And my friend, that is where you are able to transcend that old wound. That is what we are here for. It is so transformational when you can recognize the triggers that you have been experiencing are from an inner wound that's just asking, hey, it's time. It's time for you to heal this. This no longer belongs to you. Even if it's painful, I want you to understand that there's movement when you recognize what it is. And it's there's movement enough for it to actually support your personal evolution. But then there's that kind of trigger that I don't want to miss. And there's that trigger that is constant. It's exhausting and it's soul draining. Is that you? Where's in this space, it just seems like there's no spaciousness to even heal because there's only loops, there's only chaos. There is emotional dis-ease, like I'm not steady in this relationship. I don't feel safe. I feel triggered. I don't feel like I want to be around that person. It's not safe for me to be around that person. Not necessarily like physically harming, but just the emotional piece of it. Like I don't feel safe. I don't want to be around this person. I have to really rev myself up to be in their presence. That's emotional dis-ease. And it's real. It's a real thing. But there's also a physical dis-ease. And that is something that's happening within your body. And when you have been in a relationship that is constantly being triggered, constantly exhausting, and constantly soul draining, eventually emotional disease, yes. And that leads to physical dis-ease, excuse me. And that dis-ease shows up in your body as illnesses. Chronic fatigue syndrome, whatever, you feel chronically exhausted, you experience pains, you may get sick all the time. These are the red flags saying, sister, it's time to do something. You don't want it to get to that point. You don't want it to get to that point. And in this particular state, that fight, that argument, that discomfort, the bad energy between the two of you, it just keeps replaying. And the lesson here is no longer about growth, but it's about extraction. It's about removing yourself from that relationship. And when that's the case, you are in a very, very unhealthy relationship. And you may already know this. Your body may already be telling you this. So the next question is the question that we automatically ask ourselves. But why can't I leave? Why can't I leave? Let me just share with you from a very personal experience. If you know that it's no longer for you and you're still staying, that's where the deeper shadow work needs to come in. The deeper inner work of why can't you leave a relationship that's causing you to abandon yourself, a relationship that's causing you to completely drain your energy. Why can't we leave that relationship? So I want you to understand that in this particular circumstance, this is no longer about the other person. It's about your attachment to what it represents. It's the fear of being alone. It's the fear of what people will say. It's the fear that you'll never meet somebody again. It's guilt, it's shame, and confusion. And when you are in that relationship that is so emotionally draining, that becomes physically draining, that is completely sucking your life force energy, we have so much confusion. We can't even think straight today. We're so emotionally exhausted. We have this spinning of triggers, these spinning of thoughts. We have spinning of what the future will look like. We have spinning of what will people think. And you're really not able to live your life today. Have you ever experienced that? I definitely have. And sometimes, like I said, the trigger is not even about the person. It's about the story about what leaving would mean to you. And this is where the most important work begins. This is it. There are no mistakes. If you stay, you will meet your growth. If you leave, you will meet your growth. Because wherever you go with it. You go with you. So you're going to continue to grow and evolve. So there are no mistakes. But I want you to really let this land deeply with you. Nothing that is meant for you will ever ask you to abandon your values, lower your energy, or compromise your integrity to receive it. Nothing. So let me say that again. For the part of you that is still negotiating your worth at this point, nothing that is meant for you will require you to betray yourself. So should you stay or should you go? Only you know. Only you know. And I'm going to tell you, your body knows too. Your inner wisdom knows too. Whether you call that Holy Spirit, intuition, spirit within, whatever that is, your wisdom knows. And if you're brave enough to listen to the trigger, not react to it, not bypass it and say, I'm just going to sweep this under the rug, but be with it, you'll find the answer was always within you. Maybe it's time to rise. Maybe it's time to release. Or maybe it's time to come home to yourself first before you decide anything. Because the truth is, the relationship that sets the tone for every other relationship is the one you have with you. Should you stay or should you go? I hope and I pray that you can see the answer lies within you, what your body is telling you. There are no mistakes. God bless you. See you next week.